Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gordon Frayne. We're back with another video. We're going to be looking at some key charts about altcoin season and where we're at in the market cycle. As always, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button below. Hit that subscribe button as well. We're on the road to our first 10,000 subscribers. And if you want to get notified about similar videos, smash that bell notification icon. And don't forget to grab your completely free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin. It's linked below in the description. Grab it down there now while it's free, and let's get into the video. So, what is happening in the market right now? Well, Bitcoin has retraced all the way down to these low to mid 90,000 levels since getting up to about $108,000 here on the 17th of December. We had a big market pullback just before this Christmas time period where we pulled back from 108,000. We wicked all the way down to about $92,000. We bounced back up and we've kind of been consolidating pretty much between 93 and 98, 99,000 here over the past week or so. So again, bit of a pullback, after making these moves, huge moves to the upside since the election results all the way back here on the 5th of November. I guess you could argue that this pullback is somewhat warranted. Hindsight is obviously 2020, and I don't think people were expecting such a strong pullback from 108,000 to, down as low as 95 in the space of about 48 hours. But this is where we're at. We're going through this phase of accumulation. And I think if we jump over to Bitcoin Dominance, we can kind of see how Bitcoin Dominance did jump back up again. So we did a video a few weeks ago on the channel talking about Bitcoin Dominance breaking this uptrend to the downside where it hadn't done that in over 2 years. So if we zoom out to the weekly chart here on the Bitcoin Dominance chart, you can see that going all the way back to September, October 2022, Bitcoin had been in this uptrend and had never broken below it for more than 2 years. And finally, on this week at the end of November, November 25th, we had a breakdown with this big red candle, Bitcoin Dominance breaking below this trend line and moving further to the downside. So if we zoom in on the daily chart, we can see what was happening here. We were breaking down. This was actually a little bit of a rally for alts here, and we were thinking that we could be moving into an altcoin season. But you can see by the time we got down to about 55% here, we broke below the trend. We broke below the 200-day moving average. We then had a bounce getting back up here as Bitcoin and the market pulled back. Bitcoin pulled back 5, 7, 8%. Altcoins began to pull back 10, 15, 20%. That means that Bitcoin Dominance shot back up again when alts were pulling back even harder than Bitcoin. Very interestingly, though, we got all the way back up to this trend line and bounced right off of it. We wicked above it, but the bodies here bounced right off this trend line, retesting it and moving back down to the downside. So the next level or key support here is once again the 200-day moving average. We got back above it here on the 16th of December, bounced off the trend line, coming back down at the moment to retest this level. So again, what we want to truly see here in order to really signal the beginning of a proper altcoin season rally would be a continued breakdown of Bitcoin Dominance in this general direction indicated by this white line. If we zoom out once again to the weekly time frame and go all the way back to the beginning of 2021, that's when we saw this very sharp breakdown in Bitcoin Dominance for a very extended period of time. We saw Bitcoin Dominance properly start to break down on the 4th of January 2021. We got right down to the 200-day moving average. You can see that we tried to reclaim it multiple times here for about 4 to 5 weeks before breaking down even further. This was the true altcoin rally, the true altcoin season between January and middle to end of May 2021, where Bitcoin Dominance broke down from 73% all the way down to about 41, even as low as 40% here at these lows during the middle of May. So again, we're looking for something similar from a pattern perspective to play out here to really signal the true beginning of an altcoin season. And we did hint at it even a couple of weeks ago that it might be happening. That's what we were alluding to in our previous video. But Bitcoin came all the way down here jumped back up when we had the pullback because alt pulled back even harder, retested this line. This could be confirmation that these were indeed the highs for Bitcoin dominance, getting up as high as about 61, 62% here. We may not get back up to those levels if we're getting rejected by the trend line, and we might continue moving down in this direction. A couple of other key charts that I'm keeping an eye on. Others.d is others dominance of all the crypto market, excluding the top 10 tokens. And as you can see, let's zoom back into the daily chart here very briefly. You can see that others dominance actually came back down here as the market pulled back. So again, as we mentioned, alts were pulling back much harder than Bitcoin over the past 2 or 3 weeks. You can see that the dominance of everything outside the top 10 also pulled back, but very interestingly, you can see how we also retested and bounced right off the 200-day simple moving average and started moving higher again. So this to me is signaling this could be a decent level of support that has held for now at least, and we are going to continue moving in this direction. This chart is almost like the inverse of the Bitcoin dominance, where in order to truly signal the altcoin season, we do want to see the chart continuing to move in this general direction, because again, if all of the altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin, we will see others dominance continue to creep up here. And again, zooming all the way back to 2021, if we zoom out to the weekly chart, this very sharp increase here in others dominance during the time period from January through May of 2021, this was your altcoin season. This was the period where alts were blowing up, performing and outperforming Bitcoin on an extreme level, and everything moved very sharply to the upside, with others dominance going from about 5.8% up to as high as about 17.5%. So again, we're seeing that upwards trend just starting. We did get back above the 200-day moving average here around the middle to end of November. We've come up, we've come back down to retest the 200-day moving average, and it's looking positive for now at least that we are holding above that 200-day moving average and continuing to move back up and to the right. Again, we might have a little bit more consolidation necessary here for another couple of weeks before we truly blast off or move much higher, but I do think it's positive, at least in the short term, that we have held the 200-day and continued moving back up and to the right. So again, the final chart I'll review here on today's video is going to be the total 3 chart. The total 3 is the crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, and this will often mirror quite similar to the others dominance chart and be again somewhat of an inverse to the Bitcoin dominance, because again, zooming out to the weekly, this big rise to the upside, this was your altcoin season back in 2021, January through May. Total 3 moving much higher, so everything outside the top 3 performing much better than Bitcoin and Ethereum on a percentage basis. Again, zooming into the weekly chart here, we've been moving much higher off of the back of the election results in the US. We're having this pullback, but again, zooming back into the daily chart, it does look like we're still maintaining this uptrend. We're still very far above the 200-day moving average, and I think this does look pretty positive for total 3 to continue moving higher over the coming weeks and months. And finally, the last chart I'm keeping a close eye on in relation to all of this is the total crypto market cap chart. So again, finally, we did have a bit of a pullback here in terms of overall crypto market cap. We got all the way up as high as about $3.72 trillion just a couple of weeks ago before this most recent pullback. This was right when Bitcoin was getting up to about 108,000 US dollars per token. We pulled back pretty strong with the entire market over the past 2.5 weeks. We are holding this level pretty much here right around the $3.2 trillion level. It's acting as a decent level of support. Yes, we have wicked below it on certain days, but 3.2 is holding pretty strong. We're currently sitting at 3.26. And again, I do think we possibly have a little bit more consolidation here in this area before continuing on to the upside. The key thing here for me is the $3 trillion level. I do think this holds. I do think we're far enough above 3 trillion. But the reason I mentioned 3 trillion is because you can see this level acted as resistance for us to get up above and continue moving higher. This level of resistance goes all the way back to the previous cycle highs. This is going all the way back here to November of 2021. This is where we peaked with total crypto market cap all the way back in November of 2021. We saw resistance here most recently in November when we were trying to break above 3 trillion US dollars. We finally broke above it. You can see we came back to retest it here on the 26th of November before moving much higher. I think this level is going to hold and consolidate here before moving higher. It might take another week or two. We need to wait and see what happens, but rest assured that altcoins will be moving higher as total crypto market cap does move higher over the coming weeks and months. And just as a very quick reminder, we are literally moving into this period of the market cycle according to the Bitcoin halving cycle that is usually the most parabolic time in the entire market. We are seeing this red line representing our current cycle, or our current era as they call them on this chart. The previous eras or cycles denoted with the colors for the blue, the orange, and the green. And this time period, typically speaking, between 200 and 500 to 550 days post halving event, that is the time period where we see the most parabolic moves for Bitcoin and the rest of the market. And you can see we are about 254 days post halving event. We've already seen some pretty nice moves here from the beginning of November all the way until the present day for total crypto market cap and the entire market moving higher. And I think if the past cycle history is anything to go by, we're in for a very exciting 6 to 12 months. As always, guys, today's video is sponsored by Femex, the most efficient crypto trading and investment platform. I will leave a link below this video for Femex. You can check it out for yourself. It is a referral link, full disclosure. Use it if you want. Don't use it if you don't. I really don't mind. All of your favorite altcoins are available on Femex for trading and investing. Of course, this is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Make sure to check out the charts, see what's going on with all these different assets. We've got tons of videos on the channel, educational content, videos about different price predictions, videos about specific assets. Check them out for yourself. As always, if you enjoy the content, smash that thumbs up button below, guys. It would be really helpful. It helps to spread the good word for the algorithm. Give us a thumbs up on the video. Hit that subscribe button as well. And if you want to get notified about similar content, smash that bell notification icon. And don't forget to grab your completely free copy, The Rise of Bitcoin. It's linked below the video in the description. Check it out now, and we'll catch you in the next one.